Excellency. Very welcome to the first episode of the Diplomatic Hour, and a very warm welcome to the Treehouse Restaurant in Hulumale. How are you today?
Excellent. Thank you, Naza. First of all, let me say namaste from India to all your viewers and all your listeners. It's a very beautiful day today outside. It's very warm, very nice, and very breezy. And very happy to be here to meet you and to talk to you and to your viewership through you. And this is a very special month for you. Actually,
Yes.
you have had the Victory Day very recently on
Yes.
3rd of November,
Yes.
and you'll also be having your Republic Day. So
Yes.
let me actually, I had the privilege of being part of the Victory Day celebrations, both in the morning and in the evening. A very impressive way in which it was celebrated. My best wishes to you. I would also take this opportunity to wish you a very happy Republic Day on 11th of November, isn't it?
Yes.
And so through you, a very happy Republic Day to all my Maldivian friends in Maldives and abroad.
Thank you, Excellency. Speaking of our Victory Day, I believe, if I remember correctly, India played a huge role in supporting us on that day. I don't remember much details, but I was hoping you could enlighten me on that.
Certainly, in 1988, 3rd November 1988, when there was an attack by some of the terrorists from one of the neighboring countries, uh, Maldives had reached out to India, and the then Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, had taken it upon priority and ordered an Operation Cactus at that point of time. Through which our people, our armed forces had actually, within a short span of time, had started from Agra by plane. They came over, they secured the airport, and then they actually, after securing the airport, the whole kind of attack was thwarted. While at the same time, there have been many martyrs from the Maldivian side defending the Ministry of because Ministry of Defense was what was attacked. About 8 Maldivian soldiers were martyred, and 11 other civilians were also killed by the terrorists. Our Not only the air thing came in over here, our air warriors had come over here, landed and taken over the airport, got the airport controlled back to Maldives. And our two naval ships had also come, INS Godavari and INS Betwa. Both of them had also intercepted and sunk the ship that the terrorists were trying to take. MV Progress was one of the ships which they had hijacked. So our naval ships intercepted, killed many of the terrorists and captured some. And the whole revolution, which they thought they would bring in over here, was thwarted by the Indian Army assistance. I should also tell you a very interesting anecdote over here. When the whole thing started, there was a telephone call made to India. And that is the longest international telephone call recorded ever, of one single call of 72 hours
Really?
continuous. So that is how India had been part of the first responder for Maldives. As I think I can repeat it here, what my Prime Minister has also said. India considers Maldives as her closest neighbor, friend, and an important partner. And so we have been historically been the first responder, whether it was during 1988, the Operation Cactus, or in 2004 tsunami, or the 2014 water crisis, or during the COVID crisis, and the supply of essential items and so on and so forth. India has always been there for Maldives and will continue to be there for Maldives because, as my Prime Minister said, neighborhood first is the policy that guides our diplomacy. And in the neighborhood first policy, Maldives occupies a very special place.
Yes, Excellency. I'm also very curious about your career experience. I believe you were in Nigeria before that. Could you please guide me through your career journey until today?
That's right. I actually joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1998. And since then, I have been posted to different places. Just before coming over here, I was ambassador of India to Nigeria with concurrent accreditation of Benin Republic and Chad Republic. Uh, Before that, I started my career in Moscow, and then I served in two different terms. I served in Moscow for 8 years. I came over to India after my first set of postings. From Moscow, I went to Dushanbe, a place called Dushanbe in Tajikistan. It's in the Central Asian Republic, a very close neighbor to India, like Maldives. But it is completely, Maldives is fully with ocean, and Dushanbe is fully with mountains. There is no navy there. From there, I came back to Delhi, worked on Pakistan, went to United States, then to Thailand, once again back to Moscow, and then I came to headquarters to be head of administration. Then I was posted as ambassador to Nigeria, and from Nigeria, I have this cross posting to a very important neighbor, Maldives.
That's a long experience. How many years?
It is 27 years I have completed. So it has been quite a fruitful, fulfilling experience that I have had in the Indian Foreign Service.
I wonder what do you like the most about the Maldives?
I would say you have been endowed with such natural beauty. That is number one. Such good people, very friendly, very hospitable, very warm. And there are so many similarities between India and Maldives, whether it is in terms of people, whether it is in terms of our old traditions, whether it is in terms of cuisine, and even the language. For example, Divehi that you speak is one of the languages that is spoken in, it is called as Mahal and is spoken in Minikoi. So linguistically, culturally, traditionally, we have been having very good relationship, and therefore coming over to Maldives is a dream come true, and it's a dream destination too. This is a wonderful place, great people, very friendly. I'm so happy to be here.
Speaking of Tivehi, how well do you speak it now? Do you know a few words? Are you able to form a complete sentence now?
Well, I can use words because many of the words that you use are with Urdu, with Arabic, and with Sinhala and kind of thing. So, since I know Hindi, there are various words that in a sentence that you speak, I would be able to discern about 4, 5.
Mhm.
But you don't actually give me an opportunity to learn the way. You all speak such good English that it's not possible for me to actually try learning it. I do want to because you have such a beautiful language. The intonation is so nice to hear whenever you speak, we can listen to that very attractively.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I don't, while I can discern what you are actually trying to say, I won't be able to speak. As I told you, you don't give me the opportunity.
Yes. What about our cuisine? Have you tried any of our local dishes yet?
There's not a single one that I haven't tried. My favorites, of course, are Kandakakulhu, your Addu Bondi on the sweet side,
Yes.
your Valhomas, your Roshi, and the Mashuni. We also have very thing. Your chicken curry is exactly using the same spices that we have. Your
Yes.
Kandakakulhu, of course, it's sea chicken, you call it, but it's tuna.
It is.
It's very tasty, very nice. And the coconut that you use to make in most of the dishes, we also use it. The spices, we also use it. So my one idea has always been to try local food wherever I go. And yours is so close to heart. So I've tried almost everything.
Excellency, I would like to ask you if you had to describe the Maldives to someone, let's say your relative or your friends, and you could only use 3 words. What 3 words would it be?
That's a very tough question. How can you describe the beauty of Maldives in 3 words? But still, if you were to push me, I would use a few more words. I would say this is a most beautiful destination, never to be part of a person's bucket list, and with such warm hospitality of people. It is a place that one shouldn't miss. So I would say it is a fabulous, warm destination that one should have.
Thank you. On a more serious note, Your Excellency, India and the Maldives have had a deep partnership based on mutual trust. We have several development projects, we've cooperated in disaster management, and many more. Which of these areas do you see as top priorities in the upcoming years?
India and Maldives have always had very close relationship. We were one of the first countries to recognize you immediately after your independence in 1965. And we have been having diplomatic relations since then. Incidentally, this is the 60th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations, and we are having a year-long plan to celebrate it from 1st of November, which just started, till 31st of October next year. We will be having a series of events. So during this 60 years period, our political leadership has actually invested in each other so much that there has always been very close relationship at all political levels. People to people contact has been quite strong. I have known of many Maldivian friends who have told me that I was born in Mysore, I was born in Chennai, and they still go to India for various educational as well as medical purposes. Development partnership is one of the priority areas with which government of India comes out in its relationship with its friends, particularly in the neighborhood. As in neighborhood policy, Maldives occupies a very special place. Government of India has actually been in a big way in the development partnership. I would divide development partnership into three, four parts. One is the line of credit operations that we do. We have more than $1.3 billion worth of, in the past 10 years alone, if I were to count, the development partnership comes to about $1.3 billion, whether it is the Greater Malay Connectivity Project or the Hanimadu project or the Gan Airport project or the Addu project. These are under LOC, Addu Roads and Sewerage Project, Sanitation Project. Apart from that, we have what we call as the grant project, what we call as the high impact community development projects. These are grants from Government of India, which will be based on the priorities of the Government of Maldives. We go ahead and we provide grants. Till now, about 455 million MVR worth of projects have already been completed or in the process of being completed. So it's an ongoing thing. The latest one is the third phase of this project, through which we have provided grant for building 12 RTL ferries to bring in connectivity and also a ferry terminal. So these are projects which actually have a direct impact on the lives and the livelihood of Maldivians. So development project is another. The third aspect of this development project is on buyer's credit, like the housing that has been recently inaugurated, handed over by my prime minister when he came in the month of July, and various other projects. There are buyer's credit which is there. And the fourth aspect is human resource development. On an average, we actually train about 1,600 Maldivians every year. 300 under ITEC civilian, 300 under ITEC military, and another 1,000 under specialized course, whether it is the Judicial Service Commission or whether it is LGA or whether it is other areas, police and other authorities. We have a lot of training. So development partnership is another. Economic and trade relation is an important aspect of our cooperation. India is, I would say, the largest trading partner to you. On paper, it would seem as if we are the second, but UAE, which is the first, is basically collating things from various places, and I'm sure many of that come from India also. So that is, we are one of the most important trading partners. Private investments, if we had to look at, I would say not in the past 10 years, but overall, there's more than about $3 billion worth of investments from private side into various tourism and agriculture and services sector over here. So I would say there is an overall context of our relationship, and our priority would be to further strengthen this relationship in its overall areas, all areas, I would say.
Your Excellency, are there any specific key goals that you wish to achieve during your time here in the Maldives? Any specific targets?
Um, Strengthening the political leadership is something that is happening on a regular basis. The projects is something which is very important, whether it is a medical center or whether it is the infrastructure project that comes out. Because we, as I mentioned, about $1.3 billion worth of projects are underway currently. GMCP is one of the major projects which we are looking at. So developmental partnership is a major priority for Government of India, because we work under the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, which means whole world is one family. When India develops, we want our friends also to develop simultaneously. We are willing and ready to share our experiences and collaborate with our friends. So that is the area that would be the priority. And Government of India also is looking forward to strengthening this relationship in this particular area.
When we look at the economy and economic growth, India has been one of our biggest partners in economic development projects, from the Greater Malay Connectivity Project to smaller community level projects. India has been a huge support. I wanted to ask you, are there any projects that are ongoing that are beyond these areas of development?
Well, I'm just coming out of a meeting in which there is some cooperation in the medical field, particularly in the Malay City group of hospitals with whom we are trying to collaborate. Even in Hulu Malay Hospital, we have set up under the HICDP project, we had set up in 2022 through a grant, the Prosthetic and Orthotic Center. So we are looking at expanding it. We are looking at expansion in terms of medical field. There are various hospitals which have also set up clinics and hospitals here. On the mental health, we are working closely with government of Maldives to identify areas where we can collaborate. So, and educational field is something. There is one company which is one hospital actually, which is trying to set up a teaching hospital, medical hospital in Tulisdu or in the northern part of Maldives. So artificial intelligence is one, new areas of crypto, manufacturing, 3D, and so on and so forth. Bollywood, let us say, is another area where we can collaborate the creative industry is something where we can collaborate very well. We recently had Waves, a big international event that Government of India had organized. Our Minister of Youth Affairs from Maldives had also participated in that, of Information and Youth Affairs had also participated in that. This was inaugurated by my Prime Minister. That is the priority that we attach to the creative industry. With so much of creativity in Maldives, we look forward to collaborating in the creative industry also. So these are some new areas. Fintech is another area where we are working with MMA and with the Ministry of Finance to look at augmenting your Favara by bringing in the UPI from India, so on and so forth. So these are new areas which I'm sure will have the ability to further strengthen our relationship.
That's wonderful. As you've also mentioned before, thousands and thousands of Maldivians visit India every year for various reasons: health, education, business. So, how do you see this expanding, the people to people linkage expanding in the future?
There has been no stoppages. I would say from millennia, we have been actually interacting with each other. If I were to trace the history back, Lothal, which is a port city in Indus Valley civilization, which is 2500 BC, which is 5000 years old today. During that time, we have had connections between people from Lothal who had come over to Laviani Atoll and Nunu Atoll at that point of time to have trade and relationship. We have had various other southern kingdoms also come in close contact with you, including through the matrimony. Therefore, our relationship has been quite old, and the people to people contact, I'm sure, will continue to be there, whether it is in terms of people going for educational purposes, medical purposes, or just as tourism. There are many Indian tourists who are coming over here. In 22, during the COVID period, 21 and 22, during the COVID era, we had a corridor that was exclusively for the Indian tourists who came over here. Last year, we had more than 140,000 Indians come in, and this year we have already crossed 100,000 by September this year. And we expect a little more, certainly, to come in. So, this kind of relationship, both in and out, is something that has been there historically, and we continue to boost that. We have a visa free regime between our two countries. Anybody can come in for tourism, medical, or educational purposes continuously without a visa. So these are some of the things that government of India and government of Maldives have worked together to further strengthen the people to people contact in all areas.
Your Excellency, what opportunities exist between Indian industries and businesses, and with the opportunities for collaboration between Indian businesses and Maldivian entrepreneurs? Are there any opportunities of collaboration between them?
On both sides, there are enough opportunities for people to actually utilize. Let me first take it towards India. Lakshadweep, Minicoy, and Maldives, they are all of the same geographical features. The beauty of Maldives is, of course, unsurpassed, but we also have beautiful places in Lakshadweep and Minicoy where a government of India is looking at possibilities of emulating what Maldives has done in terms of one island, one resort concept. So we are also bringing in tourism. There is a huge opportunity for collaboration because people can enjoy the geographical features from north to south, including from Addu to Lakshadweep. It would be the same kind of features. So there can be collaboration over there. Your experience of having this resorts can come in very handy, and your companies will have great opportunities in investing in India. Tuna is another area where we would be able to collaborate much better in India. I'm now talking between Maldives, from Maldives to India. uh, we have 0% tariff for your tuna imports into India. From 2021 onwards, we have established that. So you can bring in the tuna that you catch over there. You can set up factories for canning and other things. You can also market it internally in India. When you develop the taste of tuna for Indian cuisine, in the Indian cuisine, I can assure you, you will face a crunch over here on supplying over there. So there's a lot of opportunity there. From India, there are, as I told you, nearly $3 billion worth of investments from the private side has already taken place, whether it is in the construction sector, whether it is in tourism. There are many resorts that are partly owned by Indians who have put in investments over here. There's also an agricultural area in Ba Atoll, which is now, for the past about 3 years, has been producing a lot of agricultural thing. There's a proposal of poultry that is to come up from by an Indian investment. Mushroom farming is something that they are looking at. Whether and other services in terms of trading, in terms of supplies, pharmaceutical products, so on and so forth. There's a lot of opportunity for both the countries, entrepreneurs from both the sides to exploit and grow.
Apart from the economy and economic collaboration, we also have a strong relationship culturally. We have a strong cultural relationship as well. Are there any projects that are ongoing or are currently being planned to strengthen this cultural relationship that we have?
Culture certainly is a very close to heart, both for Maldives and for India. I'm sure that most of the Maldivians sing much better than I do all the Bollywood songs. The karaoke, which is very popular over here, we keep hearing the Hindi songs, and you perhaps know better Hindi than I do. If that is the kind of cultural connect that we have. We also have an Indian cultural center that has recently shifted to just opposite to the artificial beach, where Indian culture is also being showcased, whether it is in terms of music, whether it is in terms of dance, or whether it is in terms of exercise. We have the opportunity to have a closer collaboration in the cultural field also. Uh, Bollywood, as I told you, has a big role to play over here. You have such beautiful resorts and locations that Bollywood can come and shoot their films over here, which will also be a huge tourist attraction. When any movie is shot in any place, everybody in India wants to visit that place. So that would actually be a very great help in terms of promotion of tourism. In addition to that, we would also look at various in Maldivian bands, for example, two of us. A very popular band in Maldives had actually been the second runner-up in the Battle of the Band International very recently, that was held earlier this year. So there's a lot of your Bodu Beru and your Bedouin groups. They have been visiting India to participate in various cultural events, traditional events, and similarly, Indian Kavali. We would soon be having a troupe on Kavali, which is on music, which will be done over here. So there are a lot of opportunities which Government of India creates, and there's a lot of interest amongst Maldivians and Indians to collaborate in these areas.
Yes. Your Excellency, India has supported young people as well in various areas. When we look at training, governance, India has provided support for young people in these areas. So, are there any projects that are currently ongoing or currently being planned for the youth of the Maldives?
We have like the cultural exchanges, we have youth exchanges also. Your National Cadet Corps has a regular program of visiting India. Your guides and Girl Scouts.
Yes.
As we speak, a group of Girl Scouts are in India. understanding what our system is and how there can be further collaboration. Apart from that, on youth exchange, we have been having a good success. We are looking at a possible, what do you call it, as a walkathon kind of a thing, in which there would be people would be given some problems, and youth from both sides would be identifying some of those issues and coming out with innovative ideas. Entrepreneurial training, which is there. iTech is one area. Apart from that, we also have what we call as the long-term scholarship from Indian Council for Cultural Relations, which uh, targets the youth, basically for their graduation, post-graduation, and even PhD. So there are various youth-related activities that both the governments are working on.
For my last question, Your Excellency, I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to a young Maldivian who wish to progress in the area of international relations? What is your key advice?
I think one should look at diplomacy as not only a career, but also as a lifestyle. In the sense that, see, I have been in this service for the past about 27 years, and not a day has gone that I haven't actually relished and learned something. Being in the foreign service, even as a young officer, you have the opportunity to represent the country. I mean, there are only few areas in which you can actually represent and your country. One, it's in sports, certainly, and the other is in the cultural field, and third is in diplomacy. Because this provides you a great opportunity to learn, to make friends, to visit various places, to identify not as a tourist, but as a person who lives in that country. I have now lived in few countries and developed friendship in each of these countries, which continue to grow. The kind of people that you interact with as a diplomat is also the elite of every country, and therefore the kind of exposure that you get enriches you. It widens your horizon. And apart from that, government pays for you to go and visit places. So I think diplomacy is a place to enrich oneself, to make friends, and be a global citizen. And I would certainly encourage more and more youngsters to look at it as a career opportunity.
Thank you, Excellency. This has been a wonderful conversation, and I hope we get the opportunity to sit down like this again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naza, and wonderful speaking to you. Namaste once again from India.
Thank you.